Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Who ripped up the grass? I want names.
Pond. You can see Kensington
Who did that? Was it you?
Palace, which has been in
Oh, that's nice, though. That is nice.
Kensington Gardens, and past the round pond, you can see Kensington Palace, which has been a residence of the British royal family since the 7th.
I'll stop being stupid. No, I won't. Love you. What is going on? Hi, guys. My name is Connor, if you're new, I think. Original link to the video from, I'll do a subscribe, Andy's Awesome Adventures, preemptive like. I hope everyone's doing well. We are keeping this intro. It's golden. Kensington Palace, the most fancy name. These things are vicious.
17th century.
What was I saying? Oh my god. Just start the video. Just go.
After strolling through Kensington Gardens and past the round pond, you can see Kensington Palace, which has been a residence of the British royal family since the 17th century. From the outside, it doesn't strike you as being a palace, but as you'll see in a minute, the inside is quite palatial. Kensington Palace was originally a two-story mansion built by Sir George Coppin in 1605 in the village of Kensington. The mansion was purchased in 1619 by the first Earl of Nottingham and was then known as Nottingham House.
What was it? I get in these modes. I think I have ADD for sure. And so when I get in this mode of like I keep thinking of a lot of things, I can't listen. So I just have to like remove the thoughts. Just watching a video. I'm ready.
House purchased mansion built by Sir George Coppin in 1605 in the village of Kensington. The mansion was purchased in 1619 by the first Earl of Nottingham and was then known as Nottingham House. Shortly after William and Mary assumed the throne as joint monarchs in 1689, they began searching for a residence better suited for the comfort of the asthmatic William. King William and Queen Mary asked Christopher Wren, the architect of St. Paul's Cathedral, to turn Nottingham House into a palace. His extension is largely what you see today. The clerk of works was told to do the job quickly and cheaply, so that's why Kensington Palace was built with bricks rather than stone. It was completed in 6 months, and William and Mary moved in on Christmas Eve, 1689. Over the next few years, the couple added a gallery, the Queen's apartments, and a new entrance. Tragically, Mary didn't have long to enjoy her new palace because she died from smallpox in 1694. In 1702, William fell off his horse, broke his collarbone, and died a few days later. We're going to start with the modern royals, which of course includes...
Sometimes I think it'd be cool to live in the past, and then I forget that something like breaking your collarbone can be a death sentence. Even if you're, like, super royal, like, rich.
A few days later. We're going to start with the modern royals, which of course includes perhaps the most loved modern royal, Princess Diana, who lived here from 1981 until her death in 1997. The King's Staircase leads to the King's State Apartments. It was decorated by William Kent and was completed around 1726. All of the elite climbed these stairs to visit the king, but could only enter if their clothes and jewels were acceptable to the guards. The King's Gallery was built in 1700 for William III. He would meet with his spies and plan his military campaigns here. In 1694, Robert Morden made the wind dial, which was attached to a weather vane on the roof. The wind dial was helpful to the king because he could see if the wind would allow an invasion fleet to come up the English Channel.
That's cool. I love that. I would love to see, like, the contraption. Like, so where the wind blows on the roof, it's got a... just a bunch of cogs, and it's awesome.
William Kent transformed the gallery by 1725 as the green velvet was replaced by red damask. Kent and his assistants painted the 7 large ceiling paintings, which showed scenes from the life of Ulysses. Kent also designed the picture frames. Most of the paintings were Italian and dated from the 16th and 17th centuries. It was in this room that King William caught the chill that led to his death in 1702. The Cupola Room is the most decorated room in the palace, and this is where George II and Queen Caroline hosted lavish parties. William Kent decorated the room and made it look like a Roman palace. This is a clock and music box. It was completed in 1743.
The Cupola Room. Handle. Okay, when I think there's something, you ever heard of a cupola? It's like if you have a house. I remember this house we'd always go to at Block Island, which is an island off of Rhode Island. Rhode Island is not, that's a different story. But it had a cupola in it, and it's like on top of, it's a little stick out on the roof, on top of the roof, that usually circular, that has windows around, that you can just, sit, really cool for a thunderstorm to sit up there.
The Cupola Room is the most decorated room in the palace, and this is where George II and Queen Caroline hosted lavish parties. William Kent decorated the room and made it look like a Roman palace. This is a clock and music box. It was completed in 1743 and was bought by Princess Augusta. The king's drawing room would be full of people who came to the king's parties in search of power and prestige. The king's bedchamber was next door, and at some point, he'd come out and make an appearance. Guests would form a circle, hoping to speak with him. This room was the site of a famous royal argument in 1735. While King George was away, Queen Caroline reorganized the paintings and took down many of the Italian paintings that George loved. When he returned, he insisted that the Italian paintings be put back. The presence chamber is where the...
I love that they were husband and wife. I love how that just sounds like a classic, like, husband-wife argument that could happen today. It's like, where'd you put all my... Okay, interesting.
The paintings and took down many of the Italian paintings that George loved. When he returned, he insisted that the Italian paintings be put back. The presence chamber is where the king would sit on his throne under a crimson silk damask throne canopy. Elite guests would be shown in to bow and kiss the king's hand. Before we see the royal queen's apartments, let's take a look at some spectacular jewels. We're going to see Queen Victoria's emerald necklace, earrings, brooch, and tiara. We'll also see jewelry from Queen Victoria's granddaughter, Princess Louise, including her diamond tiaras.
She looks...
Also see
Why does she look like a Russian czar's wife? What is the name for a czar's wife? Czaress? Queen? But, because weren't King George and, Tsar Nicholas cousins? They just look like...
Jewelry from Queen Victoria's granddaughter, Princess Louise, including her diamond tiara.
So I was kind of right. Wait, does it say it? No. Ooh, that one's pretty.
Gallery, also known as the Long Gallery, is where Queen Mary was able to showcase her passion for collecting Asian treasures.
Sorry, guys. Just...
The Queen's Gallery, also known as the Long Gallery, is where Queen Mary was able to showcase her passion for collecting Asian treasures. There were 150 pieces of Oriental porcelain in this room alone, and you can see some over the fireplace. Mary was crowned queen at the age of 28, and in 1677, she married her older cousin William, who was twice her age. William was from the Netherlands, and it was there that Mary developed her passion for collecting treasures from Asia. Mary also used the gallery for recreation, and it was often filled with ladies-in-waiting working on their embroidery. There were bird cages in red velvet set up in the windows and velvet cushions on the floor for her dogs. The Queen's bedroom was once a room where Queen Mary entertained friends, but prior to that it was her bedroom. In 1691, the Queen added an additional bedchamber, so this room wasn't needed anymore as a bedroom. The bed...
It's so ironic that a lot of royal lineages, I think of, you know, like the War of the Spanish Succession, I think of the Habsburgs, how in order, like, because you're so afraid of losing, like, you want your wealth and power to stay in your family for as long as possible, would eventually would eventually lead to too little genetic variations in generations to eventually being just infertile. That just seems like a perfect like irony. You tried so hard to do this, and it led to what you feared.
Displayed here a bedchamber, so this room wasn't needed anymore as a bedroom. The bed displayed here is thought to be the bed in which James Edward Stuart, son of King James II, was born in St. James's Palace in 1688. The Privy Chamber was one of Queen Caroline's favorite entertaining rooms. The ceiling painting depicts the Roman gods Mars, the god of war, and Minerva, the goddess of wisdom.
Hold on, I want to read that one. Kensington Palace buzzed with excitement when the new king and queen arrived with their court on 19th of June, 1727. The royal couple entertained in lavish in these rooms to the delight of his queen. Despite their German roots, George II and Queen Caroline worked hard to promote their Britishness, unlike George I before them, who often spoke German. All right.
Chamber was one of Queen Caroline's favorite entertaining rooms. The ceiling painting depicts the Roman gods Mars, the god of war, and Minerva, the goddess of wisdom, surrounded by emblems representing the arts and sciences. Mars represented King George, and Minerva represented Queen Caroline. The painting was done by William Kent in 1722.
How someone can paint that well beyond me.
In the Queen's dining room is from the 17th century. In this room, William and Mary would share private dinners of fish and beer, and Mary would take tea here. The portrait over the mantelpiece isn't of a queen or princess, it's of a much-beloved housekeeper, Catherine Elliot. Catherine had been nurse to the infant James II, Mary's father, and later served as a court dresser and woman of the bedchamber to both his wives. Mary II had originally filled the Queen's drawing room with porcelain in 1694. In 1940, during World War II, a bomb damaged the room and destroyed the paneling, so it was replaced by the wallpaper that we see today. Queen 1694. In 1940, during World War II, a bomb damaged the room and destroyed the paneling, so it was replaced by the wallpaper that we see today. Queen Caroline's closet is a small room with a lot of history. Originally, it was William III's little bedchamber. George I used this room to store books, but they were removed after Queen Caroline discovered in 1727 many important drawings that were hidden in a cabinet. She put up 300 small paintings, miniatures, and embroideries in this room. By the end of the 18th century, they had been moved to other royal homes, and the room was converted to make dressing rooms for the Duchess of Kent and a bathroom for Princess Victoria. It was in this room that Queen Anne, Mary's younger sister, had a terrible argument with her childhood friend and confidant, Sarah Churchill, Duchess of Marlborough, in 1711. As a result of the argument, Sarah and her husband were stripped of their high-rank positions.
Any relation to Winston?
Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of Kensington Palace. Nice. If you click on this video link, you can see another great London palace, Buckingham Palace. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for making. I enjoyed that. I enjoy these types of videos a lot. Did I really even ask any questions? Maybe I did. Love it. I love the history around it. Even, you know, up to, you know, centuries of history, even stuff being changed because of 20th century events like World War II. Awesome. Love it. Love you guys. Hope we're all doing well. Would appreciate any comments as always. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.